All right, so I finally got around to watching the 4th episode of Daredevil Born Again, Sic Semper Systema. And it was 45 minutes or so. Once you take out the credits and, the opening and the recap and everything, literally only 5 minutes of it was good.
I am disappointed.
Yeah, this is actually becoming a chore to watch. You've all heard that this is what we're going to get for the first 5 episodes. I think maybe now, next episode, we will actually see Daredevil in costume, which we have not seen since the first 10 minutes of the first episode. This one, again, we're getting just, I guess, maybe character building in a sense. It's just really kind of worthless. It's kind of worthless. We get this whole scene where Matt is going down to defend some guy who gets popped for stealing caramel corn. Again, this is, legal stuff, which I'm very familiar with. 7 years almost as a prosecutor, working out plea deals with opposing counsel. That he actually got the guy a good deal. The guy, of course, was not happy about it.
Got me that probation.
Nope, I got you 10 days and you are out on Friday.
How is that great news?
And we get this lecture about, the system not being fair.
Look, I've been jerked around by the system my whole life. Last time I got 30 days. I missed my SSI appointment and they cut my benefits.
The whole thing is basically say, look, the system's rigged against everyone, and that's the theme of it. So in the end, actually, Matt talks about the whole system's just upset. It's crap. And he talks about it with his girlfriend, Heather Glenn, who apparently has now moved in with him. We also get to see a little bit of Heather doing more counseling with Fisk and Vanessa, because God knows that's great stuff.
Maybe just for a moment we can acknowledge the affair.
Stupid, ridiculous term.
Yeah, it's all about her having this affair with Adam, which we find out, unsurprisingly, Fisk has, squirreled away somewhere in his own private little prison and likes to sit down and eat dinner in front of him.
Mr. Fisk.
Would you agree with that, Adam?
Then we hear this whole thing about Fisk wanting to rezone an area, make it, revitalize it, put a new business and everything, and he has to go through all these hoops and everything. So we learn a lot about, how politics works in the big city.
With all due respect, you can't just decide something and then speak it into existence.
And why is that, Sheila?
This is city government. There are processes.
Again, very boring stuff. We then get to go see Fisk do his duty as mayor, which is go to see a bunch of kids sing. And then go to see, I think, a Latvian festival where there's more singing. And I'm guessing that Disney paid for, the song We Built This City. I think it was Starship. I think it was Starship in the 80s. Because they literally do it twice in the episode. I don't know what's going on here. It's really annoying. The whole slow build. We had a scene with, Gandolfini's kid who accidentally leaks something about Fisk wanting to bust up unions, and he's apologetic in something, and it's
I don't care.
this is not what you want in a superhero show. Certainly we had, legal drama in the prior Daredevil series, but there was still something about Daredevil with it. You had the Punisher trial. That was actually interesting, maybe not accurate, but at least interesting and well acted. Also, despite any legal inaccuracies, it was supported by a well-told story. We don't have that here. We just have this very long, drawn-out, commentary on the criminal justice system, commentary on politics. I guess the writers at the time, were thinking this is going to be great stuff. This is like Emmy Award winning stuff. We're really sticking it to the man or something. No, you're just sticking the viewer with like a pile of shit. It's crap. It really is. It's dull and boring. And I said, there's only one good thing in here. That's 5 minutes. Because guess what? We actually get to have actual acting between two great actors who know their characters. That's right. Jon Bernthal returns as Frank Castle, the Punisher, with Matt going to see him because Matt thinks somehow the Punisher might be involved with the death of White Tiger because there's a Punisher logo on the bullet casing that Matt found, really conveniently found. I don't know how he did this, even for his skill. It's kind of ridiculous, the happenstance of it. The scene between Matt and Frank is really good. You again see how they know their characters and they know how to play them. There was a report that Bernthal didn't want to come back to play the Punisher with the way they had written him. So clearly they came back and rewrote him in a way that actually fits the way Bernthal thinks the character should be. He was playing the character that he wanted to play when he was on Daredevil, played it in the Punisher series. He understands the character, and clearly he did not like the treatment that was given previously for the Punisher. So this may be one of the new scenes that was filmed. But it's really good because it gets to the heart of what's bugging Matt, in the sense of, he gave up being Daredevil because he wanted the system to work it out. Of course, Foggy dying, that just hit him so hard that he couldn't go on doing it. And he tried to let Bullseye be convicted by the system. And basically, Frank calls him on and saying, he's basically saying you didn't do the right thing. You didn't do your nature.
Full of shit, counselor. So full of shit. You're guilty. Excuse me? Yeah. That guilt, that shame, that's my home, Red.
Castle understands his nature. He's the Punisher. He understands what he does. And he talks about how he hears the voice of his son every time he goes out and, basically goes out and kills someone. His mission.
And I hear his voice. He says, get him, Daddy.
And he's asking, Matt, do you hear Foggy's voice? We actually hear Foggy's name for the first time since he died.
How about old Foggy? He got life.
So it is a really good scene. If you want to see anything, just go watch that scene. It's literally starts at the 37-minute mark in the show. So watch it for 5 minutes and then stop watching the rest. Like I say, beyond that, this is becoming a chore. Oh, yeah, we do get to see Muse at the end, who apparently is exsanguinating someone, sucking the blood out of him, I guess. I don't know the Muse character. He came into Daredevil after I stopped reading Daredevil. But yeah, that's what it is. At some point they're going to have to kick something up here because we're 4 episodes in and it's just boring as hell. I know we're probably not going to get anything to 6 or 7 at this point, but this is a chore. It's really a chore. So, but I did promise to keep watching it. I will. Hopefully the last third of the show comes back to what the Netflix show was, and we get a little bit of that nostalgia feeling, not just nostalgia, a little bit of good superhero storytelling, because Disney, Marvel's just not doing it at all now.
Welcome to the MCU, by the way. You're joining at a bit of a low point.
Anyway, questions, comments, witticisms down below. Click all the good buttons. I'll see you guys next time.